Coming to you from the studios at the Illinois Rock and Roll Museum on Route 66, it's the Rock and Roll Chicago podcast.
Rock and roll Chicago, rock and roll Chicago, my hometown. Well, I was born in the city, gonna rock your city, Chicago. Chicago rock and rollers are the best here ever around.
Hey everybody, it's Ray the Roadie.
And this is Hollywood Mike. Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening.
Oh, yeah, I guess it would be good morning because it's going to come out at midnight when it does come out.
Well, that's true. It would be good. Yeah, good morning.
Yeah.
But you never know when people listen to it.
That's right. That's right. So what have you been doing since Monday?
Oh, out car shopping.
Again?
Yeah, yep. Not for me.
Yeah?
Not for me. For the other half. And we went out Friday all day looking at cars and then finally bought one on Saturday.
Good.
So now we have 2 new cars in the family.
Oh, that's nice.
So now I got to get the garage cleaned out so we can get them both in there. So now I have another job.
Well, you've got 6 friends around the table here. The more than help you come out and do that.
I was planning on and asking them when we're done,
Right.
or maybe put them on the spot during the interview and ask them and see how many of them volunteer to help out.
Yeah.
But we looked at Kias, at Toyotas, and Nissans, and we probably should have looked at Flatbed Fords.
Yeah, you probably should have.
But we did not.
Well, why don't we take a look at them now?
We can look at them right now because here they are.
The Flatbed Fords.
Hi guys,
How's it going?
Hello. Howdy.
All right.
all 6 of you.
Yes, indeed.
We're missing our button. We couldn't applaud for him.
Now, I know we got to load up some sounds on there, but I'm going to be your 3rd grade teacher and ask you to. It's your first day of school, and you need to introduce yourself and let the people in the world know who you are and what do you do at the Flatbed Fords.
I'm Dean Schultz, lead guitar.
There you go.
Ron Romero, bass.
Joe DiGiacomo, keyboards.
Eric Enervold, drums.
Jim Sokasich, guitar.
And Jim Coleman, guitar.
And why are there so many of you?
There's a lot of them. I think
Yeah.
it's the most we've ever had in here.
Yes, we broke a record Monday, and we
With
broke a
5.
record again. Yeah,
Yes, and
absolutely.
now we have 6, yes.
So tell everybody, Flatbed Fords, and there's 6 of you in here. So why do you need 6 people in a band? Come on.
Because we don't use tracks.
Well, that's
How about
good.
that? So we've got what we call Guitar Mageddon here. We've got 3 guitar players. We've got a keyboard player, drummer, and everybody sings. So yeah, like I said, we don't use tracks. It's all made by human. Any mistakes you hear are made by us.
Excellent. Do you charge for them?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Yeah,
Extra.
right. All right.
And when you're doing Eagles, you got to have that many voices.
There you go. I was waiting for one of you. I was waiting for one of you guys to say it. It's because
Yep,
we're
you
doing
gotta have
Eagles
that many
covers,
voices
everybody.
up there.
Yeah, that's right. It's a girl, my lord, in a flatbed Ford. Love that
Oh,
song.
great. Are you going to be the 7th guy now?
All right, number 7.
I don't know. I'm looking around the room here. I'm thinking to myself, if we got to slice up the payment pie one more time,
That's right.
we'll be doing this for free.
So where did this all come together? I know a few of you were together in some other groups, and
Yeah, Dean and I have been playing together for, I was 27 at the time, and I'm now 57, so for quite a long time. Dean, we ran into each other. Dean called on me. He was selling beer, and I was running a store, and we got to talking and figured out that we both played guitar, and he invited me over to his buddy's house. And we had a little jam session, and when an opening happened up in his band, which was Bullwinkle at the time, I'm sure you guys probably heard it. So they invited me to join, and the rest, so they say, is history.
So, see, I knew there was alcohol involved in here at some point or another.
Absolutely.
Bullwinkle was a really good band until it got a little rocky at the end.
Oh, no.
Where's that rim shot sound effect?
We got to load some stuff up there.
We're going to pause for just a second so we can all beat the shit out of Ray for that joke.
I just have him beat himself.
So was that the start? Was that? We can't edit everything out. So was that the start of Flatbed Fords, or was that just the start of you guys playing
That
together?
was the start of us. Actually, Flatbed Fords came out when the 3 of us, he replaced Jimmy Herder in Acoustic Avenue. And we started playing, and our vocals were working, and we're honestly tired of playing bars. And we're like, well, we should put a tribute together. And Jim turned around and said, well, how about the Eagles, since our harmonies are right? And that's where the Flatbed Fords came out, because we just wouldn't make it as as like an 80s hair band tribute.
You have to have hair.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, there's not a genre of rock out there as like fat middle-aged guys. You know? we could tear that up.
Oh boy, that's rough.
Yeah, we were looking at, one of the big things right now is, of course, the cover bands. And Jim, I wanted to play in a band with Jim Coleman, the other Jim in the band, that for some time, we've known each other for decades and decades, and we've played on gigs together, but never actually played in the same band together. And about a year prior, I think, to this happening, we talked about getting together and putting something together. And Jim said the same thing I did, which was we're getting tired of playing clubs and, getting home at 2:00 with $100 in our pocket. So we wanted to do something that we could sell maybe towards theaters and move that way. So we've been working on that for a while.
So a couple years ago, I get a text message from Ron that said, "Hey, want to play keys for the Hall of Fame induction ceremony?" I'm like, "Sure." And that kind of started us on our way.
That's with the Illinois Rock and Roll Museum on Route 66.
Correct.
That's right.
Thank you, Ray. Yeah, so Ron and Dean and Jim had already been together, but I got pulled into that, and then we just kept going. They pulled me into the Electric Avenue / the infield band and so forth and so on, and then we decided to become an Eagles tribute band.
So there's kind of the common thread is that at one point or another, every one of you guys have played with Electric Avenue. Is that pretty much the deal?
Except for...
No, he's played with it too.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're kind of bringing it. We're kind of coming full circle, I guess, and doing something a little different.
Yeah, and then we were looking for a drummer. We found our buddy back here, the quiet one. We call him George, like from Beatles, because he was the quiet one. Eric comes to us from Morris, and I think he's qualifies as the youngest in the band. I think I used to run sound for him back in probably when you were in high school or something. Anyway, we called him up and asked him if he was available to do some stuff. And he's also our art director here at the museum. He does all the exhibits and stuff too. So
nice.
It was a bonus for us because we got a really good drummer that could make our business cards and our posters. So, so it was a win-win situation. Say hello, Eric.
Hello. This is all true.
So are you doing like the artwork in the museum here, or just artwork for
Yeah.
like promotion and stuff? Oh,
I'm designing a lot of the exhibits with Larry Williams from Williams Graphics and a few other people.
All right.
Have their input, and Ron comes up with ideas, and we bring those to life.
Did you have anything to do with the Muddy Waters house and stuff right at the
Yeah, that
entrance
was
here?
my concept originally, yeah.
Absolutely brilliant. The people that have been in here and have seen it just absolutely love it, and I do too. I think it's the best display in here.
Oh, cool.
I really do.
Yeah, it's all starting to come together now. So.
Yeah. We should probably back up a little bit, just a little bit for a second here. And I don't want to toot anybody's horn or or anything like that. But we mentioned Ron Romero, and we mentioned his name on this podcast a lot. Everybody, this is the brainchild of Mr. Ron Romero that's sitting right here for our listeners that are listening to this. He's the founder. This was your idea to start this entire museum, right? To start the entire thing, and you've spent a lot of years putting this together and probably dreaming about it and talking and thinking about it.
Started out as just an idea in about 2015, 2016. It was going to be taken to a museum, another museum, and as exhibit. The president there said it's bigger than this here, so you should really go form a nonprofit and look for a building. And she helped me to start the board of directors, and that's where we started.
Right.
So
So it's it's good to know for people who don't know who you are and only know of the museum through the podcast, is that the person that started this whole thing is actually kind of a musician.
I'm a bass player. Yeah, no. It's not like I'm a drummer that hangs around with musicians, but
That's right. So that's important to know that. Oh boy. So you guys, you guys are great. We have heard you guys rehearsing when we've been doing the podcast and everything, and you guys do a pretty darn good job. So do you have any gigs or anything coming up on the horizon, or are you guys still kind of putting it together?
no, we've actually we've got a couple of gigs already lined up now. We're playing at the Roxy Theater in Lockport. We're playing at the Morris Theater in Morris. And after that, then starting next year, we're going to start booking some of the theaters. And we've got somebody who's interested in booking this at theaters for us. But, we talked about this for a while. We want to earn our wings first and take on some of easy, smaller theaters to start out with. And we're watching a lot of the other tribute acts. I mean, they put some time into it.
Oh yeah.
And it's a big thing now. You know, you can go see the Eagles if you want. I think tickets are going for $450 to $4,500.
Yeah.
Right.
Or you can come see us for under $50. So
Yeah, and actually, if you think about the original members in the Eagles and who's left, I mean,
yeah, there's one left, one original Eagle.
One more original member than us.
Yeah, that's
It's all perspective, right?
who is it? Is it Don Henley?
Don Henley.
Don Henley,
yeah.
So Joe Walsh decided he's out
No,
of here.
he's there. He's not an original.
He's not original.
He's not an original.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, are you guys focusing more on the older Eagle stuff or the newer?
We're
Eagles?
all over.
You are.
We're all over. With we do some of the stuff like individual Eagles when they were on their own, and then
Okay.
we also do like early stuff, later stuff. So we're all over.
Right. Yeah. So tell me a little bit about your rehearsal process, because I mean, you can't really, work on harmonies and everything at the same time. How are you guys doing that?
Well, we've kind of been splitting practices up as of the last few weeks, where we rehearse without the drummer so we can really focus on the instruments and some of the vocals and the harmonies, how they all fit together.
That's being polite by saying so we can actually hear ourselves.
Well, you're good at reading between the lines.
He's quite a quiet one when he's not sitting down behind you. The drummer just needs less practice.
That's probably true. But then we get together as a whole group and run through everything to make sure the sound's exactly the way we want it. So.
Right. So does everybody sing? I mean, do you all sing harmonies, first of all? Even the drummer? No. Okay. All right.
He sings. We don't give him a microphone. No, not that we don't give him a microphone. It's just that we've already got 5 guys doing the vocals.
Right.
And
Lead and harmony.
lead and harmony. Everybody sings lead. Everybody sings harmony.
Okay.
So, but he does sing. We just, I don't know why we don't. We need to give you a microphone.
Yeah. There you go. Now I know one of the.
Oh, he came in late. He says, "Yeah."
I've seen a couple of the other Eagles tribute bands that are out there, and most of them really, they don't really have a specific role. Just like, can you sing this song? Sure, I can sing this song. Can you sing this song? Sure, I can sing this song. Right? It doesn't matter if it was a Don Henley song or a Glenn Frey song or whatever. Do you guys have it kind of split up where, okay, you're the Glenn Frey, you're the Don Henley, you're the.
Well, we didn't set out to do it that way, but it's kind of ended up that way, where he does most of the Don Henley stuff, and then Jim and I will split the Fry stuff, and I sing the Joe Walsh stuff.
Okay.
So yeah, we kind of did fall into those roles, and as far as guitar playing, he's way better than I am. So he takes the Don Felder stuff,
Right.
And I do the Joe Walsh stuff because.
Well, yeah.
It's close.
Right. But I did notice the guitars are very similar, because I did see the double neck. Was that a Gibson down there? Was that a?
That's the Epiphone.
It's the Gibson Epiphone. Yeah, whatever. But it was white. It looked like Don Felder's. Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah, I'm only using it for one song, so I couldn't bring myself to spend the money for the Gibson.
It's going to take a while to pay that one off.
Yeah.
For one song at a time.
I wouldn't even bring that guitar out for one song. I'd go get a pedal.
You have to hear what it sounds like.
Oh, I know what
You
it's.
got to
Oh,
hear
yeah.
this guitar. It's sweet.
No, I know what it sounds like. I know it definitely has that sound. But I'm at the point now where I'm just like, gosh, I don't want to haul all that crap around with me.
Yeah.
How many guitars you bring out with you?
Well, it's going to probably be about 4. I think Dean's bringing half the house with him, so.
I have other roles.
Okay, right.
Including a mandolin with Dean.
Oh,
Yes,
wow.
yes.
Again, I'd get a pedal for that.
That one's easy. I can put it in my pocket.
Oh, okay. There you go. Well, I think we need to hear these guys do some harmonization.
Yes, we do.
We need to hear a little bit of it.
They brought some acoustics with, so let's take a listen.
Yeah, we'll be back in a minute.
We'll be right back. You're listening to the Rock and Roll Chicago Podcast.
I'm Christy from Crime Cave Podcast. I've had a huge interest in true crime since my days of watching marathons of Snapped back in the mid-90s. I needed an outlet to talk about the cases that have haunted me for a very long time. With each episode under 20 minutes, I shine a light on some of the most bizarre cases in the last 50 years. Join me in The Crime Cave.
And here's the Flatbed Fords.
There are stars in the southern sky, southward as you go. There is moonlight and moss in the trees, down the seven bridges road. Now I have loved you like a baby, like some lonesome child, and I have loved you and taken, and I have loved you wild. Sometimes things above me has to turn from here and go, running like a child from these warm stars down the seven bridges road. There are stars in the southern sky, and if ever you decide you should go, there is a taste of time, sweet and honey, down the seven bridges road.
Wow.
Boy, I wish we had our applause button.
Yeah, no kidding.
I gotta find some stuff and load it up on there. That was excellent.
Fantastic harmonies,
I
guys.
recommend saving your $400 and going to see these
Going
guys.
to see these guys. Holy crap.
Right now
those were
for
great.
$3.99.
Those were, yeah.
That was really good.
Those were great harmonies. And that's not an Eagles cover that you hear.
No.
Ever.
Nobody does that because it's a tough song.
Yeah, right. Absolutely.
It's very tough.
Wow.
Honestly, when we first started on this journey, that was the first thing I said. I'm like, with these voices, I think we could nail Seven Bridges Road, and that's going to be a big difference maker.
Yeah, no kidding. So who's the person that comes up with the songs and says we're going to do this one, this one, this one? Is it a collaborative?
All of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You kind of all pick your favorite ones.
Yeah, it's there. We don't have a person that goes, we're doing this, this, and this. It's like someone comes to it, and and we say yes, and Les Coleman brings it, then we shoot it down.
Right.
Just because. And I'm used to that. And we've been talking about adding some of their solo songs in as well to kind of, do some Glenn Fry and Joe Walsh and a little bit of Henley. They're very successful careers as well.
Okay. So everybody seems to be pushing the microphone toward you when we ask a question about rehearsal and things like that. Are you kind of like the honorary band leader or music director?
Well, not so much, more by default, because I'm more of a perfectionist and I'm very critical about things. So as we start to work on stuff, I kind of, am the grumpy guy that kind of, we need to do that again. We need to do it again. So
and that was polite coach. Where I'm better than these guys, so they're gonna.
Yeah. And we need that. He actually does keep us on track because he'll sit back and I'll go, okay, now let's do it again. It's got to be right.
Yeah, right.
So
right.
No, it's good that we have that.
Yeah, you have to have that one person in the band. Otherwise, it kind of goes off the rails real quick. Yeah. So what else you guys doing when you're not doing Flatbed Fords? You got anything else musically going on amongst yourselves?
Well, yeah, I do some solo shows. I play, at wine bars, usually down at Montage, down in Morris. I'm there once a month. And it's a nice, real, chill gig, a couple hours.
That is a nice place.
It is a very nice. We're very blessed to have something like that in Morris. We got really nice downtown area.
Oh yeah, I love Morris. Morris has kind of come a long way over the course of the past 10 years or so.
Well, it's changed a lot. We've tried to keep that nostalgic kind of downtown theme going, and a lot of towns don't have that downtown.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Absolutely. I'm just trying to get an idea about all the influences and stuff, and why all of a sudden the Eagles came around. So it's like, how did you find yourself here?
Well, actually, probably about 20 years ago, Dean and I first thought about doing an Eagles tribute band, and we actually got together with Joey a couple times and just kind of ran through some stuff, but it never really got off the ground, and it's just always kind of been in the back of my head that I just always been a big fan of American vocal harmony like that,
right.
And the songs are just outstanding. You know, there's a real reason why those guys made a lot of money.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, were they an influence in your life, or were you doing something completely different and just decided, I've always wanted to try this?
Musically, yeah, they're definitely one of my influences. I growing up on the south side of Chicago, REO Speedwagon, Styx, all the all the usuals, Cheap Trick.
Right.
So much great music came out of Chicago and Illinois, for that matter. Which is Ron's passion, but all of it, at some point or another, you take the patchwork of all that, you smash all the glass, you put it all together, you get a beautiful stained glass window of here it is, here's my final, here's what I become because of all these influences.
Right.
And when we started this out, this kind of came from an Electric Avenue gig. And we were putting some different things together. We had all sorts of songs in there, classic rock. Everybody does it. And I think we hit a couple that were similar to Eagles, and we threw in a couple of Eagles, and then it was like, no, be so but there were other things and then it was just like Jim and I had already been talking about doing something, and then a couple of songs came up, and I'm like, I think we should try this. We want to do a cover because, one, we have everybody that sings. The other thing is, if you do a Beatles tribute or a Kiss tribute, you have to dress like them. If you're an Eagles tribute, you put on flannel shirts and blue jeans.
Yep.
So, I mean, we don't have to look the parts. We don't have to dress the stage gear, that kind of stuff. But really, the big part of that band, the talent of that band, was the music and the vocals. And we concentrate on that.
Right. Unless you're Joe Walsh, because I've seen some Joe Walsh performances over the course of the last 5 to 10 years or so, and it's like he's wearing his pajamas. he's got the big baggy, colorful pants and the whole bit.
That's why I'm so glad to be the Joe Walsh guy.
He just rolls out of bed, shows up at a gig.
Yeah. Got the little feety pajamas on with the rabbit ears.
Right. And Mr. Quiet Drummer over there, were you always into the Eagles? Or it always seems to be the drummer that comes out and says, I was listening to Danzig. Yeah? See? Nailed it, right?
I mean, I grew up listening to the Eagles, and my dad loved the Eagles when I was little, and I got into them. I've always liked those bands of that era, and like Jim Croce. I was a big Jim Croce fan growing up. But then I was in high school in the 80s, so it was all hair metal. I played in a lot of cover bands where we just did, Motley Crue and Anthrax and Van Halen and all that kind of stuff. So,
is that what you were doing, immediately before you joined Flatbed Fords?
No, I've been in some pretty eclectic bands and some punk rock bands. And the last band before COVID I was in was actually like a top 40 country band, but I only made it about 6 months before I couldn't take it anymore. So it didn't last too long.
But I was going to say, going from a country band to the Eagles, that's not a big leap, though.
No, that's not. But top 40 today's country is a kind of big leap.
Okay, yeah. That's true.
I didn't really have to learn the songs, and I just show up and play the same beat on every song, pretty much, same fills. So.
Well, and how long have you been with them?
Yeah, I think I joined in like May or so, right before the summer.
Oh, okay, so any week now he should be out of here.
Pretty soon, yeah.
That's about 6 months for sure.
So between Flatbed Fords, okay, it was originally Electric Acoustic Avenue, and then you guys had a little thing called the Infield for a little while.
Yeah, that was that moment in between that we weren't sure what we were going to do. Oh, so the story
Was that
behind
everybody?
it, that's what you're going to say. So the story is this. So the idea was that we had Acoustic Avenue. The idea was that we could sell the band almost in any formula. It could go out as a single, a duo, a trio, a band, full band with drums, or horn band. So we had different names: Acoustic Avenue, Electric Avenue, and then one was the names because it was touring guys that was in that one. But the idea was, we had been doing that for, I think, about 10 years. And one of our principal players was Jimmy Herder, who's now retired in Arizona. When he left, we brought Jim in, and I'm like, okay, this has changed a little bit. We're doing different types of music, different styles of music. It's not really Electric Avenue as it used to be anymore. And just at that point, we got a call from somebody who said, I'm giving you a call and giving you your cease and desist. I play in a band called Electric Avenue, and we're a touring band. I said, we've had this name for 10 years.
Yeah, right.
We've been using it. We have a website. We've been there. And he goes, well, we actually trademarked the thing and the name. We've opened up for Pat Benatar and, some really big touring acts. And I laughed, and he goes, well, what's so funny about that? I go, well, we were just thinking about changing the name just before he called. So maybe there was some divine intervention.
But now we're
in
not.
That.
No.
Yeah. Now we're not. So
Screw you.
We went through that, that painful period of what do you call the band? And there's so many names out there. I don't even know what we came up with. There's one of them is there's a band, of course, called the Outsiders from the 60s. Yeah. In the 80s, there was a band called the Insiders. In the 80s, there was a band called Outfield. Why not do the Infield?
The Infield.
So that's kind of how it came along.
Yeah, right.
If anybody's interested, Electric Avenue was episode 35 of the Rock and Roll Chicago podcast.
No kidding. Yeah. Very
now we're on what? Episode?
This episode, I believe, will be episode 162.
Wow.
We've come a little ways.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know how true this is. I've heard it enough times to think that, okay, there's got to be some truth to this. But at least you guys didn't break up, and just completely disband at that point. Because my favorite country band was a band called Shenandoah, right? Yep. And the rumor is that the reason they broke up is because they got a cease and desist letter from a trucking company of the same name. And it's like, yeah, because you're going to confuse a 5-piece country band with a trucking company. And the guys in the band just kind of went, I'm tired of doing this anyway. Screw it. And Shenandoah was no more.
Yeah. The tougher name was to coming up the name for the Eagles tribute band. When we started looking at all the tribute bands that are currently out there,
right.
Most all of them have already taken song titles and used
album covers,
whatever.
Yeah.
So we were scratching our heads for a while trying to figure out what we were going to do, and we came up with, I think, a very suitable solution that we just stole probably one of the most famous lines from one of their songs.
Yep.
Yep.
Borrowed it.
Borrowed it.
Fine line between plagiarism and
That's right.
Yeah.
inspiration.
And I was actually just thinking about that exact same thing, because you're right. All of the other tribute bands, and that seems to be the thing. I don't care who you're paying tribute to. You grab a name of their song and make that the name of your band. I think it's more clever to go with Flatbed Fords because, yeah, everybody's going to associate it with the Eagles, but it also kind of leaves it open to playing other stuff, not just the Eagles. Because, I mean, Flatbed Fords could be a rockabilly band from wherever, and they just decided to choose that name. So
we actually took it a step further. Besides the band, we're actually a company. We're a limited liability company, and the name of the company is Winslow Entertainment.
Oh.
So
wow.
Why not take it a step further?
Yeah, no kidding. So what's the big difference between being in just a regular run-of-the-mill cover band that covers about 40 different bands and being in a cover band that has to have a specific sound all the time?
Believe it or not, it's way tougher because you have to be, within a cover band, you have some liberties.
Right.
We've all taken liberties in cover bands, and but in this, you have to really be spot on with what you do. That's why we brought on another lead guitar player so we could do Hotel California the right way.
Right.
And so it's a lot more work, a lot more personal work than I think I've ever done.
Right.
And I'm sure that, I've known Jimmy forever. I know this is more work than he's ever done. Because he just shows up and it works. Yeah. But I do think there's a lot more to it because we're each holding ourselves more accountable, and we hold the other people more accountable than we ever would in a cover band.
Right.
Yeah, you got to figure that your audience that's coming to see you, they want to hear exactly what they hear when they press play on the CD.
Yeah.
And
you're
that's what we're about delivering.
Yeah, especially if your venues are going to be more theater. You can't forget about that theater aspect of the performance, and in a way you're playing characters in a way.
Right.
So does that mean when you show up, it's like, okay, it's time to flip the switch, right? It's like a light switch. Now we're Eagles, right? And then after you're done, you go back to being your individual selves, right?
Yep.
Okay. What do you have to do to prepare for stuff like that? Is it like in the locker room pre-game and you're psyching each other up, or what? How's that going?
Drink beer. There you go. Sex, drugs, and rock and roll. We're trying to be the Eagles in the early 70s. Although our choice of drug has changed since the 70s. You were more like, Now
it's more like Advil.
So you're going to take one for diabetes and one for prostate? And, no, just kidding.
Does somebody come in and pick on each other so you start a fight and you're ready to kill each other before you go on stage?
When we get off this stage,
take a handful of Advils before the show.
Right. So turning that switch and having to focus on one specific sound, do you think that's continually helping you guys grow as musicians by doing that?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, this has kind of been something that's been rolling around in the back of my mind is doing this something like, with the Eagles, but you didn't have, the other bands and people I was working with, we just didn't have the personnel to do it, and now this is really a dream come true to have all these guys that can fill all of those spots and take on those parts and make them sound like the record.
Right. Excellent. Well, I think it's time to hear another one.
It's time to hear a second song from these guys. So let them get their stuff together, and we'll be right back. You're listening to the Rock and Roll Chicago Podcast.
Hi, I'm Rick Anthony. I'd like to thank my radio brothers, Ray the Roadie and Hollywood Mike, for allowing me to tell you about my podcast, the Someone You Should Know podcast. We spotlight musicians, authors, and interesting people, and we like to say we're making a difference one artist at a time. The podcast is heard twice a week on Mondays and Thursdays, and you can check it out on your favorite streaming platforms and on the web at someoneyoushouldknowpodcast.com. That's the Someone You Should Know podcast with me, Rick Anthony. Making a difference, one artist at a time.
Quiet on the set.
All righty, for the second time tonight, it's the Flatbed Fords.
Yeah, like we said earlier, just go see these guys and save your $350.
That's right. Save your money.
That's as close as you can get.
You got it. You got me.
Wow.
Close your eyes. You're like, woo. It's them.
No kidding.
It really is.
That's really nice. Really nice, guys.
Is this the part I should ask about cleaning my garage? Or?
No, not yet.
Not yet.
No,
Okay.
I was figuring we saved that afterwards. We're going to go next door or something like that.
Okay, sounds
yeah,
good.
I heard
Okay.
the Flatbed Fords are buying tonight.
Are they?
I think that's what I heard.
awesome.
That's what I
awesome.
heard. Yeah. So
Do you guys know where we're going to be later?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
Oh, well. You can find us.
So that's obviously one of the more popular songs. Do you guys make sure that you play all of their big hits, or do you do that, right? Absolutely.
Yeah, we our first pass at a set list was what's the top 50 Eagle, by popularity. You just go to Spotify, look at how many likes it's got. That's
Right.
the set list.
And that's what you did. Okay, right.
Yeah, and the cool thing, there's such a catalog of music from them. They've got so many albums filled with music. It's not hard to find music to play.
Right. Right.
So-
Yeah. I mean, you absolutely have to hit the keys, the key songs. There's no doubt about that. I mean, I've seen a lot of tribute bands where it's like, yeah, we're going to be a tribute band, but nobody wants to hear those songs that have been on the radio for 10 years. So they're playing all the B-sides and stuff like that. Yeah. I can't imagine you're going to get people going out to, yeah.
I'm pretty sure if we didn't do Hotel California, they'd all demand their money back.
Now, do you do the original recording, or do you do that version where they kind of wimped it out a little bit?
It's pretty much like the original recording. Yeah.
You do? Okay. All right. That's
But he can
good.
play the other one.
Okay. Sure. Yeah.
If you want it, he's just that good.
Yeah, what was it? When they did that, that was from the Hell Freezes Over?
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. Because I remember when I heard that for the first time, and I was like, what the hell is this? How do you take that guitar solo out of the end of this thing? What did you do? But no, that's good. I'm glad to hear that. Have you guys ever done it? Have you done the acoustic version live and
We
kind of?
messed with it at one point, but we ended up going back to the original.
Right. We were trying to, worried that the transition, because people want to hear the recorded, the version they know, and some of the folks would, trying to figure that out. We might do that at some point, but
Right.
we're going to stay true to the original one for now.
Because that's the one I would be curious to, be a fly on the wall in the auditorium, and they hear Hotel California, and everybody's wondering, okay, which one are they going to do? And I can imagine that you're going to have half the crowd are going to be like, oh, man, that's so cool that they changed it, right? They did the later version of it, and then you're going to have the other group like me going, what the hell, right?
Well, we have an acoustic portion of the set planned, so maybe that would be something we could slide in there.
There you go. Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, that sounds good. So how do people find you? Maybe we should ask, who's your webmaster? Who's the person doing that?
Guess that's me.
Oh, okay.
It's me. I take care of the website, but like all the merch stuff is actually Eric. That's part of the website too. He takes care of that.
Oh, yeah.
Designs that and puts all the shirts together. That website is flatbedfords.com.
Pretty simple.
Easy to find.
You're also on Facebook, because I see your posts on Facebook all the time.
Yes.
I absolutely love your Facebook posts. Are you the one doing those?
We kind of split it.
Well, you kind of
Yeah.
put up facts about somebody from the Eagles or whatever. I love those. Those are like pieces of trivia throughout the day. Those are nice. I like those. And your merch is pretty cool too. Right. Yeah. Do you guys have any kind of demos recorded where people can actually get you off of Spotify or anything like
Right
that?
now we do.
Oh, yeah, we do now. I'll have this for sale before the night is out.
Yeah.
No, you know what? We haven't really gotten to that because we've been concentrating on going to these gigs. The funny thing is, Acoustic Avenue, Electric Avenue, as we booked those for the 10 years, no exaggeration, for the 10 years that we booked that, I never gave out any demos at all. We never gave a tape or a CD or anything. We just booked it.
Those days are over.
So yeah.
Yeah.
But eventually we'll get to the studio. We did some studio recording just kind of for ourselves so that we can kind of divide and conquer those songs. So we knew where we were, but it's nothing that we're going to use as demos yet.
Yeah. No, we talk about that on the podcast all the time. Those days of, having a box of, promo packs in the back of your car when you see a bar or someplace and you pull over to the side of the road and want to hand out a promo pack. That's over. Just have a business card. Tell whoever it is where they can go and listen to your stuff electronically. Or there's videos on our Facebook page. I mean, that stuff was great. I don't miss the days. Remember the days when you have to go around and put flyers under windshield on windshields and do all that stuff? That's over and done with, man. And the younger bands nowadays don't realize, you guys did what? Yeah, we actually went out and worked. yeah, we actually did that. So awesome. And you mentioned a couple of gigs you have coming up. What were those dates again?
The first one is November 17th. Yeah, next Friday. November 17th at the Roxy, and then December 8th at the Morris Theater in Morris, Illinois.
You know, I haven't been into the Morris Theater yet, but the Roxy. The
Cool
Roxy's
place.
cool place. You guys are gonna. Have you guys played there yet?
No. I think we sold that out in about a week and a half, something like that. It was sold out, so it went pretty quick. I love that theater.
Yeah, it's great. We actually had the manager of the theater on a podcast a couple of months ago. Yeah, we had Jessica on the podcast, and Cadillac Groove has played there a couple times. For the people who are going to come out and see you, I always like people to let them know that the inside of this place looks like an old movie theater from the 40s.
Art Deco.
Yeah, and they even have the original film projector right at the front door when you walk in, and when you walk into the building, you feel like you're transported back in time. I mean, yeah, it is, but a classy speakeasy. Like the first time we played there, we requested that everybody showed up wearing, men. Wear a nice pair of pants, wear a coat, wear a tie if you want, wear a hat. Ladies, put on a dress, dress up, to come out. And we were absolutely shocked how many people walked to the door. Men were wearing suits, a couple of guys rented tuxedos, women were wearing evening gowns. It was fantastic. It really was. So, yeah, promote the show. I hopefully I don't have anything going on so I can see you guys. That'd be a lot of fun. Yeah, great.
Alrighty, well, thanks for coming out tonight, even though you were here to rehearse anyway.
Thanks for having us in our studio.
That's right, folks. They were here anyway.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, thanks you guys for doing this, and thanks for doing the podcast. I know you said 165 or whatever.
162 you're going to be.
162.
Yeah.
So congrats on the long run on your show and stuff, too. So
and thank you for this wonderful studio.
Very happy to have it here and have you guys here.
Yeah, we have a lot of fun doing this.
Yes, we do. Yeah. Alrighty. Well, we'll see you out at the theater.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Well, I forgot to ask them if they're going to come and clean my garage.
Oh, we forgot that. Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
Bring the flatbed Ford, haul away some stuff.
That's all. See, that would be perfect to get rid of all the crap out of the garage so I can get the cars in.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding.
But that was a lot of fun. Boy, they really sound good. Their harmonies are spot on.
I was impressed. There's at least two other Eagles tribute bands that I know of. They don't have the harmonies like that.
No.
Wow, that was, you can tell they worked on the harmonies.
They put a lot of time and effort into this, and it shows.
No tracks, no nothing.
Nothing.
Fantastic.
No,
fantastic.
Sounds excellent, and I like the whole the theater gig that they're doing.
Yeah.
No bars, it's just a theater atmosphere. It's kind of cool.
Right.
I like that.
So the Roxy, if you guys are in the area, go and check them out at the Roxy. Cause
I think they said that might be sold out, but
oh, that's right.
But at least Morris.
The
Morris Theater.
They may have sold out all the tickets, but I bet you there's tons of stuff to do in that downtown area.
Yeah, right.
If you just went there and said, "Hey, I want to get in," I don't think they turn anybody away.
Probably not.
I don't think they do.
But yeah, there's a lot of theaters out there for them to play. I mean, while we were talking, I was thinking of like the Acorn out in Michigan. And
Yep. Yeah.
You got the Hobart Arts Theater in Indiana. So there are art theaters out there.
There's the Hemmons Auditorium over in Elgin.
There you go.
That's another good one.
Yeah.
But the Roxy though, when they say that they sold out, I think what they're referring to, because there's two rooms. There's the performance room, the theater, and then there's the bar area. So I think they've sold out the seats in the auditorium, but there's still a bar area.
Oh, you can go into the bar
and they've got video monitors and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Throughout the bar area.
I haven't been in there yet.
And then there's big double doors that open up, so even if you're sitting all the way in the back of the bar, you can see through the doors and you can see the band on stage.
Okay, very cool. All righty, well, we recommend you go to see these guys. They've been playing for a long time, and they just seem to be getting better and better at it.
Yep, absolutely.
And as usual, thanks for listening to the podcast, and make sure you check us out every Tuesday for another exciting episode of the Rock and Roll Chicago Podcast. See ya.
The Rock and Roll Chicago Podcast is edited by Paul Martin. Theme song courtesy of M&R Rush. The Rock and Roll Chicago Podcast does not own the rights to any of the music heard on the show. The music is used to promote the guests that are featured.
Rock and roll Chicago.